I often recall this widely used quote by the great Nelson Mandela. There is no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. My question is, how are we treating our Jamaican children, and what image of our society is that mirror reflecting? While many things are going good for this small place we call home, there are still some areas that need ironing out. But as always, our response is forthcoming. In today's show, we look at government's response to child abuse and to students suspended from school. Jamaica Magazine has answers for you today to some critical global and local challenges, so welcome. I'm Theodore Henry, and we'll have further discussions on this after the news.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, November 19, 2021. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has called for a report into the situation at Clarendon Alumina Partners. CAP, which owns the government's 45% stake in Jamalco, has been in the news due to reported disagreements about its continued engagement of a consulting company that was hired to assist the process of sourcing capital and finalizing its transition to a corporation. In a statement from Jamaica House, the Prime Minister ordered Mining Minister Robert Montague to provide him with a report on the incorporation process and the contract in question. Prime Minister Holness has also directed the minister to indicate to the board of CAP that the contract in question should be put on hold until the cabinet has had a chance to review the minister's report. Clarendon Alumina Partners has been engaged in a multi-year project to incorporate Jamalco to better secure and manage its value. The Prime Minister asserts that, given the level of public resources invested in CAP, it is of macro-critical importance and a major strategic asset of the government of Jamaica. He says the reports and allegations in the press regarding CAP are troubling, adding that instability in its governance is inimical or harmful to the national interest, given the significance of the Jamalco incorporation. As many as 10,000 Jamaicans will soon be able to access jobs in the cruise sector as it continues to rebound. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says several international cruise executives are expressing strong interest in employing thousands of Jamaicans across the sector. Pointing out that the jobs will vary, Mr. Bartlett says he's working closely with the Ministry of Labor to put the necessary legislation in place to safeguard the prospective Jamaican workers.
Cruise executive reiterated a strong desire to employ thousands of Jamaicans across a wide range of jobs and are awaiting government's regulative amendments to make this a reality. And I just wanted to indicate that there is a demand for Jamaican seafarers, and it is felt that ours are among the best in the world.
Among the latest developments, one of the world's largest cruise lines, Royal Caribbean International, will resume operations in the island this month. The Education Ministry and its partners delivered more technological devices to 2 schools this week to support online or remote learning. A state-of-the-art Huawei Idea Hub interactive classroom system was handed over to Pembroke Hall High School in St. Andrew yesterday. It's one of 2 Idea Hubs donated by international ICT firm Huawei Jamaica to the Ministry of Education. The other was recently given to Lennon High School in Moko, Clarendon. Education Minister Favour Williams says it's just one way in which the ministry is seeking to fulfill its mandate of bringing more technology into the classroom, as well as to expose students to new developments in the digital space.
The state-of-the-art Idea Hub offers intelligent collaboration and bundles features such as intelligent writing, high-definition video conferencing, interactive whiteboarding, and wireless sharing. Huawei's Idea Hubs are designed to turn classrooms and open spaces into smart spaces, and is perfect for the delivery of online or remote classes.
On Wednesday, students at Green Park Primary and Junior High School were presented with tablets as part of the One Laptop or Tablet per Child initiative.
So I'm also happy that once again we've been able to join forces with eLearning Jamaica to get laptops and tablets to students and teachers across the island. To date, we have delivered 499 to primary and junior high schools here in Clarendon Southeast, and specifically to Green Park Primary, 60.
During the function, Minister Williams said efforts would be made to establish an infant department at the institution, with the school to be renamed Green Park Primary and Infant come February 2022. She also promised that the school would be getting some much-needed upgrades to its electrical system. And finally, 2 suspects are now in custody following Wednesday's murder of police constable trainee Devon Brown in Westmoreland. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the disclosure during a visit to the trainee constable's mother on Thursday. Westmoreland is one of 7 police divisions where a state of public emergency has been enforced. Since the start of the year, 111 murders have been committed in the parish. Mr. Holness says the police continue to investigate the trainee constable's murder and have also been implementing the enhanced security measure in the parish. While acknowledging that there's a shortage of police officers to man the division, the Prime Minister says the state of emergency will fill the gap.
The challenge we have is that there are some communities where crime and violence is concentrated and elevated over and above the capacity, and they require more resources. What the SOE does is to give us the ability to have the police force and the military deployed.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
We need all Jamaicans to know that child abuse is not just an issue for the government, it's an issue for all Jamaicans. So we need everybody to help us to protect our children. If you know of a child who is being victimized, a child who is abused or neglected, just make that report so we can get that child the help they need. Calling or reporting is easy. All you have to do is remember to call 211. If you are an adult, if you're a child, if you are in church, in your community group, wherever you are, once you are aware there's a child who is in need of care and protection, just be the one and call 211.
The issue of child abuse plagues many nations across the world, and it requires an urgent response. For us here in Jamaica, efforts to solve this are always ongoing, and the latest is the CPFSA's launch of a 211 helpline. Here's more on this initiative.
One of the biggest threats, and I speak in the context of being an MP who has 3 children's home and has personal experience, one of the biggest threats to Jamaica today is child abuse. The good thing is that we are on our way to improving it.
And the latest improvement is happening in the form of a helpline, one that's free, accessible 24 hours daily, and is easy to remember. The 211 helpline to report child abuse is now in effect. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency CPFSA has renewed its efforts to have a 3-digit telephone number to replace the existing 10-digit line 888-PROTECT, assigned to the National Children's Registry, the NCR. The NCR operates as the main point of contact for persons making reports of child abuse, neglect, and missing children. It also handles reports of child trafficking, which is handled by the National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons, NATFATIP. But why was it so important for this renewed call to take effect, and why now?
We have always thought it would be easier if we have a 3-digit number that children could easily remember. Now, in 2020, when we were all affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw a significant reduction in the number of reports coming in. We did not believe that it was a case where children were not being abused, because most abuse takes place in the homes. So we wanted to reach out to children. At that time, we were pushing our WhatsApp line. We were saying to children, if you feel unsafe, if you feel at risk, you can reach out to us on WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is free. And of course, we're encouraging persons to call our 888-PROTECT number. But you'd appreciate that 888-PROTECT is not so easy to remember, especially for young children. The time was right for us to launch a three-digit line that would be easy for children to remember, easy for everybody to remember.
Still, the 888 Protect helpline has been in effect for quite some time now. So, what exactly will this new 211 line mean for its operation?
So, the 888 Protect number is still in operation. What we actually did was put the 211 onto the 88 Protect, if that makes any sense. So, if you call either number, they both terminate at the same place. So the calls will come into the same lines. But what we're hoping is that as time progresses, more and more persons will become aware of 211, and we will eventually phase out the 888 Protect.
And here's the best part about this new response to child abuse. There are designated officers who are armed with the right toolkit to manage these calls.
So we already had a system at the National Children's Registry for manning the 888 Protect line. In addition to 888 Protect, we had a number of other lines that persons could call. So what we did was just to boost that system to ensure that when the calls come into 211, we would be able to handle them. So we have a set of trained registration officers. They're social workers, who are equipped to handle the calls when they come in. They're trained in how to handle various types of callers. They're trained with skills of assessment, and they would do the necessary referrals to the investigating partners.
These partners are required to initiate an investigation and provide the NCR with an update within 3 months. Furthermore, the NCR's contact center will be expanded to provide immediate psychotherapeutic response for children who may call for help. This is being done under the Public Sector Modernization Program through the ICT Expansion Program currently being rolled out by the Ministry of Finance's Transformation and Implementation Unit, TIU.
Anyone in Jamaica, Madam Speaker, can take up their phone and dial 211. A youth can be a partner in carrying the message to rescue our children.
And we do mean anyone, from any network, at any time.
We actually, met with the telecommunications providers, came to some agreement, and this is how we'll be proceeding in the interest of the nation's children. So the 211 is completely free, regardless of what network you're calling from.
Our nation's children are our priority, and this is being reflected in the CPFSA's targeted programs and services to respond effectively to the needs of vulnerable children and their families. The 211 helpline is just the latest step in the right direction. If you know of or suspect that a child is being abused, reach out to the CPFSA or call 211.
Of the DRF in violence prevention in our society is to mediate. We believe that mediation is really a very good thing in terms of resolving disputes at the court level, at the parish court level, and at the Supreme Court level. Now, let me tell you about some of the matters that may come at the parish court levels. You and I live in a tenement yard and a fight. We report the matter to the police, it goes to court. The judge may say, well, you are just probably a teenager. Go to mediation and see if you can get a settlement. Because if you can agree, then you won't have a criminal record. We urge everyone, call our offices, come to our offices, no matter how simple the matter may be. Come to us, we have persons who are trained.
The issue of unsettled students, some of whom face the risk of suspension from school, is another matter for concern. But for the Ministry of Justice, suspension can never be the final stop for these children. So an effective response was called for and, of course, realized. Here's all you need to know about the School Suspension Intervention Program for students.
Our journey unfolds in different ways, different paths trodden by the unique whirls and ridges of our footprints. For some, that journey will never make contact with the wrong side, while for others, conflict will become a reality, even as a child. That's where the Dispute Resolution Foundation's School Suspension Intervention Program, SSIP, comes in, making help available for both children and parents.
The Dispute Resolution Foundation provides a safe space for children where they can freely express themselves. So here they are not judged or cursed or bashed or any such thing. So that makes it easier for us to find the underlying issues that need addressing.
So the School Suspension Intervention Program emerged in 2006 as a result of the growing surge of crime and violence in the Spanish Town community to support education officers or educators and persons who work with young people. And the service we provide is a rehabilitative program for students who are at a risk of suspension, those who have been suspended. That's our main focus here in the SSIP. First of all, we have to have a referral. The referral may come from educational institutions. It may also come from, let us say, the family court or CPFSA. Once we receive that referral, we engage the student in an intake session, followed by one-on-one session, after which they will join the psycho-educational group sessions. Following that particular session, we have another one-on-one session. At this point, there are times where we see the need to invite parents and other family members or those a part of the conflict that probably led to the student being referred to us in the first place. After that second one-on-one session, we oftentimes do a post-assessment that will help us to put together our release letter. Now, at the time that we'd be putting together this release letter, of course, there may be an opportunity to refer to another external agency, for example, Child Guidance Clinic. Apart from that, however, we will engage in follow-up sessions with the students.
After 15 years of successful operation, the doors of opportunities that the program has opened to children who are at risk of suspension or those who have been suspended has certainly been something to talk about.
Students are a bit reluctant at times on their first day, especially because they never really see the need for them to be here, as the stigma attached to the program is that, bad picnic, come this side and all of that. But after they understand the program, it's explained to them and what they'll achieve here, they never want to leave at the end.
And that certainly sounds accurate, especially as it aligns with the testimonies of Nicholas Golding and Shamar Steele, now reformed thanks to the program.
My principal introduced me to the program. Well, I was introduced to the program because of some late going to school and some trouble that I was given at school. So I was placed here to get around certain edges that need to be dealt with.
I got into a fight with one of my classmates, then get suspended. And the principal ended up sending me on our program, learn to control my anger, and hopefully have a certain bad situation.
Well, it helped in a majority of ways because it helps me to counteract with others on a better level, or to deal with disputes that involve being under control and how to react to certain people and how to walk away from certain things that is unnecessary. Some of the things that they use to help me is one-on-one sitting down with me, helping me to go through certain emotional problems and how to deal with certain problems.
They teach me how to control my anger and teach me effective techniques, how to manage my anger, like walk away and take a deep breath, or just think about something different and relax my muscle, and how to resolve conflict between me and my peer or someone else. Since I've been through so much and I end up start do movie based on my situation, I movie them, I write them on things that I learn. All of these positive changes is really because I was in the program. I would encourage other persons in a similar situation to join the program because they can learn how to control their anger, avoid certain bad situation, put themselves in any trouble, and learn to resolve conflict between them and their parents or their peer or family members.
I would encourage others to be a part of the program because this program helps you in a lot of ways. emotionally, physically, all type of ways that you think that many others, you cannot talk to them about certain things, but these people give an ear to your problem.
We have some marvelous response. We have such life-changing opportunity for them. This is their second chance program. We've had moments where students, literally, we are still mommy, daddy, uncles, and aunties for many, even years after exiting the program. Imagine that. They'll still come back wanting to give their time to other students in terms of mentorship. So it's a lifelong relationship that we build with them, which I think speaks to the impact of the program on these beneficiaries.
Getting the first dose is not an excuse not to wear the mask, not to social distance or physical distance, not to sanitize. Getting the first dose is not justification for deciding that you're going to resume the parties, the gatherings beyond the limits that have been established. The journey is to observe the protocols, take the second dose when it is time, and then we will resume some semblance of normalcy once we achieve herd immunity.
Sometimes helping our children just requires some proper parenting techniques. I know it can be a bit too much sometimes, but we promised you answers today, so here's a solid toolkit for better parenting.
Wouldn't it be great if children came into the world so well adjusted or with manuals, therefore eliminating the need for parental discipline? This is not the case, however. Parents usually apply their methods or they depend on strategies taught throughout generations to guide their children.
8 in 10 Jamaican children in the 2 to 14 years age group experience violence as a form of discipline.
Coercive parenting involves the physical administration of pain as punishment. It also includes the use of harsh language that has the potential to hurt children's feelings and affect their general self-esteem and development. It also fosters aggression, because what you're really teaching children is that when there is an issue, we must resolve the issue through harshness, through aggression, through coarse language. There's a direct correlation between coercive parenting and the aggression that we see actually in society.
Damaging disciplinary practices have moved outside of the home and into the national consciousness.
The time has come for the Parliament to have a debate on this issue and finally declare corporal punishment at an end, both within public institutions and as a means of discipline available to parents. I think it would be a forward-leaning step in making a stance against violence generally, and it would send a powerful message about the state respecting the inviolability of the person, whether or not that person is a child or an adult.
Children need guidance, and many wonder if not with the rod, then how? Enter the National Parenting Support Commission (NPSC), an agency of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. The ministry established the commission in 2012 to provide parents with the requisite skills and tools to raise children.
We work at 3 tiers. We work at home, school, and community. Our first and most important priority, however, is to ensure that we're fostering the home-school relationship. We must ensure that parents as key stakeholders feel involved in the entire process of educating their children.
Now, to do this, the Commission assists parents in several ways, including providing psychosocial support, assisting parents with understanding the teaching-learning process, and conducting parenting education programs.
Through our effective parenting courses, we push proactive strategies. In other words, you are going to put structures in place before behaviors that you don't desire actually show.
Parents and guardians should consider the child's developmental stage when determining the best method of guidance.
A child who is very young, we encourage play. The child must be playing, and even the teaching learning processes must include play, because this is how they develop their imagination, their creative skills. This is how they also learn to resolve issues and to problem solve.
Young children, especially infants, are at the stage where they don't know right from wrong, and they can be impulsive. They may touch items that are valuable or dangerous. Usually, it is best to remove the child or the object from such a situation.
We don't believe you're to spank any at all, because that's a part of coercive parenting, and we don't believe that coercive parenting works. So what we encourage you to do, though, is to be firm and to be consistent. So if it means you have to say, do this instead, or do not go there a million times, then that's what you have to be prepared to do.
The teenage years can challenge both children and parents. With the physical and chemical changes happening in the body, teens may act out as they may be unsure of their place in the world.
This can be a very difficult time to navigate. So we ask that you start relaxing some of the very stringent rules, and you also have conversations and you compromise.
And to address challenges, caregivers can remove privileges.
If the child becomes stubborn, has a fixed mindset, if you will, that this is what he or she is going to continue to do, then you might need professional help. You might need to call the commission, or you might need to call a social worker or a guidance counselor to help.
Being a proactive parent means setting clear boundaries, letting children know what is acceptable behaviors and why rules are in place. And don't forget to model behaviors you want young ones to display. There may not be a one-size-fits-all for raising children. By assessing the right information and using effective parenting techniques, we can nurture adults willing to play their part in making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. To tap into information from the National Parenting Support Commission, call 876-967-7977 or visit their offices at 37 Arnold Road, Kingston 6.
Government is doing its part to support and respond to the needs of our Jamaican youth, but are you doing yours? Here are a few tips for how you can support a child even if you aren't a parent. Number 1, encourage children to try new things. Number 2, help them to develop their skills. 3, value your child's questions so you can know exactly what they are thinking. Number 4, work on your own knowledge and understanding of the child's development and how he or she thinks and learns. Number 5, always observe your child and assess what you see. Remember, it is our duty to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. So we gave you our 2 cents, or 30, for today's show. Let's keep the conversation going, though, on our social media platforms, whether on our Facebook or Instagram or our Twitter pages. Also, feel free to check out the JIS website and YouTube channel for more informative content and even a chance to rewatch this show. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. See you soon.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.